One second, ma'am. We'd just like to make a few announcements and also welcome you properly before the session
Yes.
starts. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So, a very good evening to everyone. You have seen me on the first day of the 7 day session, and I'm again welcoming you all to the last day of the session. So, this is not just the last day of the session, it also marks a very eventful day in the history of, we can say, Karnataka legal system. That is on 19th November 1975, our founder, Sri L.G. Havanur, he had submitted the first backward class committee report to our then Chief Minister Devraj Sir. So today is the Golden Jubilee celebration. We can say a landmark day. So that's what. So I would like to welcome you, ma'am, on this
Yes, ma'am.
eventful day to this August gathering. Over to Nivedita for the welcome.
Yes.
Nivedita, you're mute.
Sorry. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I'm Nivedita, a second year student at Havanur College of Law. A very warm welcome on behalf of the management, faculty members, and all the participants here. We'd all agree that for the past 6 days, our 7 to 8 PMs have been quite productive and eventful. We have gained immense knowledge on a variety of subjects, starting from stages of civil suit to PNJ to POSH Act just yesterday, delivered to us by such eminent persons. And continuing on the same lines, today, the last day, we have with us yet another distinguished resource person, Ms. Sadhana GS. We welcome you, ma'am, who is
Thank
currently
you.
serving as the assistant professor at Alva's Law College, Moodbidri, Mangalore. Ma'am holds her LLM degree in Constitutional and Administrative Law from College of Law, Christ University. She also has a rich experience and expertise in human rights, criminal law, and civil litigation. She also has rich experience in teaching, research, and guiding students in various aspects of legal studies. Not only this, she also has several research publications in international journals to her credit on various topics like protecting creative rights, empowering the victims of crimes, and so on. This brings us to today's topic, again, a very critical issue that is combating fashion driven wildlife crimes in India. So we are truly honored to have ma'am with us today to share her immense and knowledge and her thoughts on such a vital issue. And I'm sure by the end of the session, we'd all have a lot more understanding about the intersection of fashion industry, law, and wildlife protection. So please join me in extending a very warm welcome to Sadhana ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Once again,
Thank
welcome
you
and
very
over to
much.
you.
Thank you very much. It's my honor, and I'll be proceeding with the session. Yes. All right. So, as ma'am has already stated, that the title of my topic to be presented is Combating Fashion Driven Wildlife Crime in India. All right. So this presentation I would like to divide into four uh, subparts. First part will be just a brief introduction and then followed by the problems persisting or prevailing in our ever-growing fashion dynamic of India. Also, third part is the loopholes that we can find or a lacuna that we tend to see in the legal frameworks or regulatory frameworks of India. And fourth part will usually be a possible suggestions and conclusion. So, to begin with, fashion driven wildlife crime. You need to understand how the crime actually intersects the fashion, that people started to what to say suspect that fashion is no more going in a healthy direction. Actually, you also know that fashion is always amplifying or escalating to a steadfast extent, that each and that fashion is actually growing in demand these days. So basically, by crime, I tend to mean an illicit sourcing, trade, and use of wildlife parts. Basically, skins, it can be feathers, ivory, such as the elephant tusk, or any other kind of derivatives or that you can make as a raw materials just for the luxury status. And talking about India, the fashion industry is quite giant, magnanimous. So that itself provokes the traffickers and the poachers to supply that, as supply and demand are related, to supply that for the luxury fashion. Moreover, the greed for money is also provoking people to bypass the regulatory protocols and sell these exotic materials, in the sense turning animals into commodities for accessories, jewelry. Yes. Are you okay?
Uh, Bhavya, kindly mute. Yeah.
Yeah, it's done. It's done. Sorry for the disturbance, ma'am.
Hey, it's all right. It's all right. I thought, okay, it's all right. Jewelry and ornamental items. Also, to be surprised, also peacock feathers, python, crocodile skin, these are actually growing tremendously. The illegal trade. Also, to add on fuel to this matter, you have your online marketplaces that has been severely, or let's say mindlessly, engrossed by these celebrities. One among that could be your Gucci products, celebrity trends, and also the urban consumerism concept. It actually pushes to that extent. People are being merciless to poach animals, which they forgot that they also have some sort of emotions. And this is actually the gist of what is happening in our wildlife crime, wildlife sector sphere. All right. Now focusing on some of the eye-catching problems. So one, as you can see in the screen, this all these incidents I found in India Today and Hindustan, the Hindu paper. So that a very classic example could be what happened in your Pune. The Pune Forest Department, when they did the raid, they found out almost of 400 kg of peacock feathers. And this is just a recent case that happened in July 2025. And that happened in our Somawarpet. When the probe investigated, they arrested almost 11 people. And that itself shows that the trafficking network is happening with a thorough scrutiny and thorough cooperation, that even the regulatory framework fails to touch the nook and corner of this trafficking sector, trafficking network. Also, talking about your WCCB, it is Wildlife Control Crime Bureau that has been established under Wildlife Protection Act itself. Recently, in December 2023, also, when they conducted a raid and the wildlife trade in India, Tamil Nadu Forest Department has arrested three wildlife traders, that is in Dindigul, Tamil Nadu. They also noticed that seizing a tiger skin and leopard skin. Also, when they did a much more investigation, they submitted a report where almost 1 kg of your pangolin scales was found, which highlighted the growing demand of exotic materials, and how this also, the more the demand, the more the business profit you get. It not just ends here. If you go to Telangana side also, they how they even escape the clutches of law, that is very difficult to find out. Here they have literally sold all their material, all their items in Facebook, which includes almost around 25 to 30 pieces of ivory jewelry, your bangles, from two sellers. So that is where here your social media networking sites can be used in a very negative context. Also, it's not just that. We are not just saying that it's a recent problem, it's happening since many years to come. But if you see around 2020 to 2024, as the statistics reveal, more than 2,000 wildlife crime cases have been reported under the Wildlife Protection Act. And the highest demand is Maharashtra, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana. And that is within these 4 years, it has grown up to the spike, touching the rooftop of illegal trade in India. Also, yes, even the celebrity endorse, I said that it's not just India Gucci, but also the Balenciaga that you find. Here we are also seeing how can the regulatory frameworks that is protecting the animals can be extended to fashion industry as well. Even their skin can be also used as cosmetics products. Even if you think that this cosmetic products are showing the label that this is animal free, animal cruelty free, and it's a vegan products, never go to trust them. That is where they mislabel and misbrand the products. Now focusing on the legal and enforcement framework in India, these are the legal provisions. Actually, if I go to discuss the entire statutes, it's definitely time consuming. So some of the specific provision we are going to discuss. Now talking about the Wildlife Protection Act, as you have already seen the screen, 1972, the penalizing provision says 3 years and imprisonment or both. But that was not sufficient to cater to the crimes. That is why in 2002 they have made it more stringent. That is where you increase your judicial deterrence by increasing the punishment up to 7 years, including imprisonment or both. And one more thing, this regarding the fashion driven illegal trade, of course, cross border, it's not a common, I mean, it is a very common thing, not a surprising thing, and that is where your Customs Act 1962 comes into picture. This was actually replaced by the old Customs Act of 1872. Here, the provisions that you can see is subsection 33 of section 2, prohibited goods. Prohibited goods usually are those that can be harmful or hazardous to the public, and oh, arms, ammunition, psychotropic substance, narcotics, also the wildlife trade, the skin of the animals or anything that harms the animals. That those all comes under the purview of prohibited goods. Talking about some of the investigative provisions is 104 section that says in case if there is a single iota of suspicion, you can arrest these individuals for smuggling. Also, 105, if you carefully see, it grants the power to search the premises. The investigation should happen in such a crystal clear way that there is no scope for the uh, criminals to even escape the clutches of law. Then, moving to our section 111, it speaks about confiscation of the imported prohibited goods. So, it's not just that we are exporting, it comes from various other parts of the globe, making the illegal trafficking network more and more of demand and more of power. That itself shows to match with the ever growing crime, the laws also should be the same stringent, or let's say even more smarter, to identify where exactly the problem begins. Also, talking about the penalizing provisions, you have your section 132 and 133 that speaks about prescribing punishment. And this they have also found in the ports of Mumbai, where when the whistleblowers actually filed a complaint that even the custom authority are corrupt, they are bribed. So if the officers themselves are in greed of money, to what extent can law try to even stop it? Thankfully, you have your whistleblowers. But once again, it gives us an idea that even the custom, they can even bypass the Customs Act regulation. Also, it's just about, we spoke about the municipal laws, Indian laws, talking about your convention that is called CITES. Okay, CITES, as we call it, as the abbreviation is Convention on International Trade, Endangered Species of Wildlife, Wild Flora and Fauna. Actually, you can find the traces of this convention, as India is signatory to it. You can find the trace in your Wildlife Protection Act. Also, you have important provisions of Article 48 of your Indian Constitution that speaks about the protection of this species, that has been enshrined as the directive principles of state policy in Part 4. Moreover, you also have a popular case, Ranjit Singh versus Union of India, that emphasized a very strict and a careful vigilance on protecting the flora and fauna. Talking more about this international convention, you have appendices 1, 2, 3 that speaks about protection of endangered species, what exactly constitutes endangered species, and what is a sensitive area where that it can get targeted or even killed and poached and traded. Also, these are the other miscellaneous things if I would like to mention. It's about Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. Here, they worked simultaneously with anti-smuggling laws, and they found that even the custom officers also, there are few custom officers who are not paying attention. That itself goes to show, no wonder why the markets are filled with so many exotic birds. And iguana is a type of a lizard that you can specifically find in America, and their skin is quite demand, and from there also you can find how it is imported to India. And it is shocking to see that in that matters also, how the innocent species die, affecting the overall biodiversity of the nation. And there is one more interesting that I found out. Operation Shikhar 2015 and 2017, these have gone to say, along with Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, they work simultaneously to find out how much of your ivory jewelries are being traded. And these happen so smoothly that they have used network also to escape. Moreover, they sell the products in such a way that it looks like a genuine product. They label it, okay, this is cruelty free, no animals used. And what the normally the custom officers or the officers think, okay, we can just send them across. But to that extent that they're not checking, because they can even fool it. That is why we give a particular name called counterfeit goods. Also, it's natural that they what to say coat the products, the animal skin, in such a way that makes them look like, okay, this is made up of synthetic skin, synthetic materials. But there also we need to be thorough to see what exactly happens. And then they found out almost 14 snakes and almost 20 parrots have been smuggled. And these are the reports that has been bluntly given by Operation Shikhar. Okay. Now, regarding the suggestions, I would like to speak more detail on that. Regarding the fashion industry also, it's not just up to feathers, even the cloths that they use. Luxury status, yes, including the aesthetics that drives them, right? Now there have been n number of PIL submitted that the problem in your West Bengal, how many tigers have been poached, how their teeth have been taken mercilessly, and there's so many celebrities' name openly mentioned in also the FIR that they have been involved in endangering or threatening the animals. Okay, but thankfully now they are also establishing beauty without harm, beauty without cruelty program, and also run a careful program. But once again, it is only touches the tip of the iceberg, because they bypass all the protocols that has to be followed. Moreover, the peacock feathers, right? It holds very deep and cultural, religious, and decorative significance. But when taken illegally, you also know what punishment can be attracted. But once again, they are walking free. The demand side of the fashion industry, that can be at least cross checked. See, if you see carefully, you have something called biomedical management waste, you have your solid waste management. When each and every sector of India has something to protect the environment, including the companies are also asked to be careful with a contribution that harasses or becomes hazardous to environment, then why there is no law that specifically speaks about protecting the environment? It has been also told the fashion industry is the largest industry in India, which is exclusively having so much of heavy weightage demand that contributes every second to the destruction of the environment. Never ever the laws extend to them. Killing of animals, or maybe using animals for some stunts, many such things. It is not just that. Recently, there was what's a known family in India that has established a protection of wildlife sanctuary, but they themselves use animals for their marriage purpose or to ride on the horse and come to the program. That itself destroys the animals' physicality. And also, the animal sentinels is a vast research topic in India, but once again, we can just robust only in the paper. We can also, it won't be wrong to say that these protections, or let's say the regulatory framework, are nothing but a toothless tiger that is only looks very sharp but never practically not that strong. That itself says that great thinkers are never great doers. So in the fashion industry, once again, there is no ounce of mention of protecting the biodiversity by the damages caused. Okay, so in that sense, few possible suggestions that I've come up with is strengthen the forensic and authentication capacity. As I told you, they can also coat the products in such a way to fool people that it is made up of artificial stuffs, definitely not animal skin. In that situation, you can actually come up with various tests as to how we can realize that these are taken from the environment, not any chemical products or synthetic products. Also, the craze of your leather bags, and also maybe the leather clothes that is still being shamelessly sold. Thankfully, the fashion business known as H&M, they're actually taking a very significant step in providing clothes from recycled clothes. Also, your Cinematograph Act that particularly deals with fashion and the movies, they are being criticized severely for very worst exploitation of the animals. At the same time, you can also have a thing called giving green certification to the movies. You get license for many things, to conduct a business, to start a profession. Same thing, you can have a license by the National Green Tribunal also, because even they are also equally silent on this matter, as they can give certification. Okay. Also, deploy technology for digital detection. There is not a single person who is not aware of social media, and the encrypted chats can erase the evidence to make them walk free, to make them acquit quickly. Because if you're penalizing them also, you need a very strong evidence. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, but unfortunately here evidence is everything. So have a very strong technology in such a way that it starts from the root cause where exactly this problem begin. Who is the conspirator behind it, who is a mastermind behind it? Because when there are so many protection given to wildlife, how is it amplifying regularly the fashion crime? That means the level of their intelligence of these criminals are increasing. So that goes to show it's not just one person, but there can be group of criminals actively involved in such horrific crimes. And regulatory reforms, that is, as I already told, certification and traceability, counterfeit goods, fake identity, and also in case of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, the rural area, they were constantly involved in killing animals and trafficking them or unfair trade. You can also use your Consumer Protection Act, because the moment you come to know that these goods are prohibited and it is nowhere in the purview of law, then definitely under Consumer Protection Act you can file a complaint, unfair trade practice. But by that time, already the animals are killed, they are dead. You can have your compensation. But what about them? That emotions is nowhere connecting to the animals by the regulatory framework. That is also equally a problem. Next, your demand side interventions, that is education, incentives, and community engagement. In certain area of Northeast, as you also know that these tribal people, they may not be fully versed or fully complied with the legal provisions, not well versed in such a situation. It's very easy to maybe behind their back or to fool them and to take certain species in the name of illegal trade. So in that situation, giving them an awareness how they can protect their environment, at the same time how can they be sharp, and also informing the authorities so that they cannot let this illegal trade happen. Consumer awareness is also important, because when we see something that has been endorsed, out of maybe a lot of curiosity, we start imitating the celebrities, and the business also, the fashion business also gets equal opportunity, because they only ultimately they want their profit. If from our side also we join hands parallelly, then yes, before the illegal trade happens itself, we'll come to know that there is going to happen, we should save the animals. Drugging the animals, not only that, there's some sanctuaries in Karnataka and West Bengal, as a report said, they drug the animals and then mercilessly take what they have to take. First of all, drugging the animals itself is the biggest sign of cruelty. That can be stopped. Why are they doing it? Just because for the demand side, something that cater to all the audiences. That is why they are doing it, which can be stopped in case if there is community-based artisan hubs that produce sustainable and wildlife-free materials. That in that way you can also create alternative livelihoods and reduce economic dependence on wildlife-derived goods. Last but not the least, you have to strengthen the interagency coordination and research. Actually, you also have your section 38Z speaks about the WCCB, that is the Wildlife Crime Control Bureau. Once again, the interagency is actually weak. And why do I say weak? Because the moment they start investigating one crime, in the other part of the country, the crime has already been done. As I told, it's magnanimously growing. That itself shows the weak enforcement is one of the biggest challenge why these laws are only in the paper but not applicable. So you also have your operation seeker till now, shikhar, till now what they did, it is only up to, let's say, average, but it's not going more than that, because almost 72,000 arrests have happened, but once again they're walking free. Why? Because evidence, and also maybe let's say even the judiciary somewhere also is slow. Also that can also penalizing provision can also become more stringent instead of just years and imprisonment. And in that way also the research also has to be equally done to implement exactly what and where the problem happens, what exactly causes. See, sometimes for the sake of your scientific studies you can use animals with the prior permission, but exactly what, which direction is your scientific study or research going that does not harm any animals, that also has been to be looked. But when it comes to this illegal trade, there is no justification or even a soft spot, or let's say uh, side of the story to be listened. The moment you find that, as already told in Customs Act, suspicion, yes, jail them. Maybe sometimes even the lack in the law is that they're given a chance to conduct investigation and or conduct or listen to their side of the story, which is itself a delay to even convict them or imprison them. So in that situation, let the interagency coordination and research go parallel and very fast, lightning fast, so that the poor animals, the voiceless animals, get their rights back and strictly comply with the constitutional provision as well. So, I hereby conclude by saying that this luxury of demand of this exotic skin, feathers, it actually amplifies the profitable black market, which in turn increases the loss in our biodiversity. Yes, in the name of urbanization, already we are damaging our environment, but in the name of this greedy consumerism, what about that? That itself is a biggest problem. So, how can we balance their profession in a very sincere way rather than illegal way? That is also a problem. So, yes, you have your wildlife protection, you have Customs Act, consumer protection, and the International Convention. It is only a foundation, but the enforcement, the demand, it's not able to, the enforcement is not able to match the frivolous demand, not frivolous but the reckless demand that has been increasing. At the same time, the certification also can be useful, educating the customers, and also in a way as H&M did, supporting ethical fashion alternatives must be together. So thereby a coordinated agency with the proper in case if they are also not bright, as the custom officers are equally bright, and also the zoo people who are working the zoo, they are also equally bright. To that extent, if they're going, it understand there is some problem inside the system itself. So if that can be stopped, then poaching and the financial incentives that fuel this crime can also be stopped with a stringent laws that doesn't make it look like a toothless tiger. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. If you have any question around, feel free to ask.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Participants, you can please unmute and ask your questions. Ma'am, there are a few questions in the chat box. Uh,
Uh,
I'll read it out to you.
quoted an example of iguana America, but any information southern state. Actually, their very smooth skin can also be utilized, because that can itself actually increase the, what to say, demand, the sustainability, and makes it look very, what to say, luxury way, also very eye catching way. Same thing goes to your leather bag. You can also use bag in various what to say, uh, synthetic materials, but why leather bag? Same way that iguana, these tropical lizards and all, they are of a lot of demand. That is a problem. Till that extent these trafficking work. What is your opinion on tribal community people mingling with politicians with smuggling? Yes, you're right. That is what I say. The problem is also somewhere in India. Yes, we have our laws, but who is that still who is, backstabbing the strict laws to such an extent that these are also getting involved? As I told in the beginning itself, somewhere the poor, the destitute conditions and the poverty also clogs their mind to understand what is right and wrong. That is also one reason why they join. And tribal community, definitely they have been ignored since time immemorial, and whatever they do for their survival, they do it. Yes, there are equal number of tribal people to save their environment, but these there are other side of the story that are cheaters, which can also join hands, as you have rightly mentioned the word politicians for smuggling. Yes, PETA, PETA. PETA's influence on Indian government decision to ban cosmetic animal testing. Regarding that also, it is not just about what to say accessories, but also, yeah, it's not about only accessories, but also the cosmetics. No matter how much these people say skincare products, fashion products, these all are mm, cruelty free, vegan. It's actually not so, because when they checked the laboratory, they came to know that n number of spurious in your Consumer Protection Act. If you say it's a false goods, which is not genuine, they have been using it to such an extent they counterfeit it to be original. It's not just here. Many cosmetics in India that has been imported from America or many other countries, they have also told that this is not animal uh, cruelty free, as how it is mentioned in the label. That mislabeling also can be one of the point where you can attract the of consumer protection case as well. And people for the ethical treatment, as someone has rightly mentioned, PETA, it is an international animal rights actually, where they stop, try to prevent or try to forbid the cruelty done to animals, made food, fashion, experiment, entertainment, and also what we call it as pet trade. To some extent, it is also the horns of the animals are cut and put as a showpiece, a decorative substance. And that is actually, it's not only in India, but that idiotic demand is rising globally also. You might have seen certain pictures where the, what to say, shell of certain animals, or let's say horns, are shamelessly displayed. Yes, along with that, India is also equally standing for PETA. Recently against the horse problem of horse in Mumbai, they filed that how much of tourist is exploiting the horse. So of course it does not come in fashion, but yes, talking about PETA, yes, we have to equally comply with that also. So if
Okay, ma'am.
authorities are not doing, yes, yes,
Okay, I thought we
Nilufer?
were taking up the next question.
Okay,
No,
okay.
carry
As
on.
you mentioned, the authorities, what is the remedy? The punishment. Please share your insights. Punishment, yes. The penalizing provision you have from 3 years in the Wildlife Protection Act, from 3 years they made it to 7 years, and they've also increased fine. At the same time, you also have your Customs Act, and when it comes to Customs Act, now you can also have this COFE POSA Act also, that is Control of Foreign Exchange and Prevention of Smuggling Act. This act is so much careful that the moment you find a single iota of suspicion, they can jail you without listening to your side of the story. But that also into controversy, because you can't detain them arbitrarily. Your preventive detention comes into picture. But talking about customs and COFE POSA, these are very strict, that for them a very strict and rigorous imprisonment has to be followed. Okay. Moreover, the problem is, yes, we can do justice, but it goes to show that penalizing provision, you're saying you have your 132 and 133 of the Customs Act, you have it, but they're doing it so nicely that even it, what to say, disappears from the glimpse of the law. That is also a problem. And how they erase the evidence, that is tampering of evidence or fabricating the evidence, also matters. How quickly they vanish, that also gives them a chance to escape. That also gives a chance for further acquittal of the accused. In that situation, I feel sometimes even if you make 7 years also is not enough. My opinion would be make it more 10 years, because how much ever you value human beings, same thing you should value the animals. I feel, as being a part of this country, how much we worship our animals as well. In that situation also, you're right. Remedies, yes, as n number of remedies, I mean PIL and petitions have been filed against this celebrities for shamelessly endorsing also. High profile cases. Salman Khan Blackbug incident. Sure. Do you think Indian is stronger relationship with promotion, fashion, healing? Okay. Yes. 1993, the Blackbug poaching case. Yes. He was, maybe that is actually, I have no words for that. I mean, the people who have seen him doing that, eyewitness have said that they have given the testimonials saying that he is wrong. But once again, he is roaming so freely. Yes, you can also say that These celebrities have their own privilege that they easily escape, and their attitude towards them also. The who was advocate behind it, if my memory goes right, I think it is Satish Manish Shinde. Yes. So once again, you never know how they fabricate the evidence. But this case, it was actually a very disheartening and a disappointment case. Why? That there are testimonies. When you can see something clearly in your eyes, then what else more do you need? This, he would have been jailed by now within one or two proceeding. But once again, it goes to show how much of a law is loose to these highly influential figures, which is why they say that law is just a spider web. Only small insects get trapped. And also, yes, I've already discussed about um, elephants for religious purpose. Of course, definitely. See, I agree. You have your Article 25 to Article 29 that speaks about freedom to practice any religion, propagate any religion, profess religion. Yes. But why can't you see that your justice and good conscience should also extend to the biodiversity as well? Why here it is being silent? That is why India strictly implemented the International Convention of Flora, Fauna, and the PETA. But once again, when it comes to religious crimes, it's a, of course, thing is already happening in front of our eyes. There is no more hesitation to talk about it. But yes, for religious purpose, why are you being silent? This nowhere a justification to those voiceless animals, the name of religion, torture that you're giving them. How are they a part of your religion? We don't know from where that customs came. But that can also, if that stops, then one part of the problem can get solved. Because as rightly she has pointed out, elephants for religious purpose, yes. And the WCCB central nodal body, several operations, the soft cool operation past. These special operations are to reduce unlawful activity. Do you think central agency should launch? Actually, yes. ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಕಾನೂನುಗಳಿವೆ. Okay, we don't have any shortage of law in India. But what is the problem? Enforcement. Yes, you have rightly mentioned soft gold operation. Then let's now to, yes, Operation Shikar 2015 to 17. It's not that they have not done, they have done their they have achieved what they had to, but we can't say it as a tremendous achievement. We cannot call their achievement as, you know, above average performance or above average inspection investigation. That we can't give them the title, because as I told, sometimes the technology also and the corrupt officers involved also. If here I am doing my investigation, the other side I come to know that the crimes are increasing in a country like India, which is very big, and to that extent people literally bend their knees to this submissive to this fashion industry. That, yes, we, my opinion is, I don't think you have to increase any laws, but whatever laws you have, try to make it more and more strong. Also some of the delegated legislation if needed only, but whatever you need, cooperation and interagency coordination is a must. If that happens honestly, then I think this problem can come to an end. 28 black bugs died or killed in Kanna Sancho itself. How is it justified? That is what I was trying to say in Bengal. People who were taking care of the sanctuary or the premises of the zoo, animal sanctuary, they themselves didn't pay attention to it. To, if that is their sanctuaries are there to protect the animals, then why is the crimes going on increasing? Now, where did your wildlife protection go? Are they protected? No. Instead, the fear that you instill in them by poaching itself is illegal, and who are actually helping? That is what I said. Problem can be inside also, for the greed of money, for the adhering to the nonsensical demand that is growing for animal products, that is also there. And that is what I was trying to say. Make your laws in such a way that even before you come to know that they're being targeted, just stop it. Let stop the crime even before it happens. So that is also Bengal, it also happened, Karnataka also equally it happened. Okay. That is also there. Don't bring something to the what to say, don't try to do something that magnifies your problem. That is where you're bringing cheetah because they're extinct. But if that is only used, what are you trying to prove? You know, whatever your intentions are, it can be good for the sake of your, to balance the biodiversity ecosystem, etc., etc. But if that is not complying properly, and when that is creating problem, then it is nothing but a foolish work. There you have to see actually what uh, things you're trying to inculcate or add on more things to help the biodiversity without causing any problem. This is called blindly doing things without being aware of the surroundings. And that is where you can criticize. You get something, animals, but what happened ultimately? It is poached, it is illegally traded. It goes to show there zero amount of awareness, not even understanding to what horrible extent animals are suffering in our country. Difficulty in regulating black market. Yes, demand, definitely. 100 times we can say demand, then bribe. But at the same time, don't you think we consumers also have to be careful? We have studied that in chapter 2 of consumer, no, section 2 of consumer protection act, that speaks about so many definitions of prohibited goods. Prohibited goods, Custom Acts also speaks, section 233. Yes, that demand is also increasing. At the same time, the lack of job opportunities and the greedy can also amplify the black market. But as consumers, what we can do, immediately report what are the prohibited goods. This is not normal. This can definitely can be animal skin. Moreover, in your Consumer Protection Act itself you have the laboratories. Yes, the applied laboratories where you can actually understand, the forensic laboratories where you'll understand these are clearly animal skin. That is where your black market or your unfair trade practice can be put to an end if actively consumers become more and more aware instead of blindly or idiotically following these endorsements that they have been promoting. Yes, whistleblower. Good question. The Whistleblower Protection Act 2014. To be very honest, there have been cases that has been said that sometimes the whistleblowers also are involved in chedkani. By chedkani, I mean they can also tamper the evidence, they can also get bribed, or also that strong point that you have asked, they are not protected also. That also can be a strong reason, because in Punjab, when they were actually trying to trade the animals, a whistleblower complaint, they followed them till there. Who are the whistleblowers? They got to know who leaked the whistleblower's name. We don't know, but somehow it got leaked and he was shot dead. To be very honest, whistleblowers identity are not completely anonymous, because those people who are appointed as a whistleblower, the government or the officials will know who are the whistleblowers. They are answerable to government officials, their names, not to the public. But yes, whistleblowers themselves are no more protected in India. Then why do you think honestly anyone will come and confess or confront that there is animal trade going on in fashion industry? That is also a problem. Street dog issues, wildlife protection. May I know in what direction street dogs are it coming under fashion? If you're talking about street dog, what I know is, mm, you can also make them, give them protection, street dogs, by taking care of them, by giving them anti-rabies injection. Yeah, by feeding them, by having separate rehabilitation center for only for street dogs. Yeah, we talk a lot about poachers, but almost nothing about buyers. Why India's wildlife? That is what I was trying to say. The people who do that is what your Gucci and your Balenciaga is doing. Also, certain aspect of your skincare products, um, your cosmetics that comes imported. Yes, they are doing it. They're manufacturing. Then whatever the influential people say, we shamelessly purchase it, right? In that situation, that's what I was trying to say. Consumers also have to be especially smart, right? Instead of getting blindly carried away, we have moved to that extent in our country. We have moved to 21st century. Still, there are mindless people who can't even use their brain to identify what is right and wrong. You have everything available correctly, technology in your aspect to understand, to have a deep study, or let's say to even attend certain consumer programs. Yes, then why not use it in the right way to educate yourself? That is also equally wrong. And industries also, even, do you think even now also the Gucci has stopped selling the animal products, animal bags? No, they're still doing it, or let's say they're bypassing it, or they're claiming it that it is not true. They can just label it. Yes, the giant business also have got their own way how to get rid of it. And I'm answering all the questions, don't worry. I'm looking everything. Mm, have patience. Okay.
Any more questions from the participants?
X-ray and AI system or sniffer dog squads trained for wildlife materials. Excellent. Vishnu Priya, excellent. So Indian ports and airports sufficiently equipped. Yes, crime detection technology. Yes, the animals also can, and the X-ray and AI system. That's what. See, some of the custom ports, as I mentioned in my presentation also, when the way they design their product counterfeit to show that it is so real. to that extent they imitate or mimic the product saying that it is real with the label. How can you be so innocent or a fool to even let that bypass or let that cross? That is where your X-ray and AI system can come into picture. And the same thing, you have this in your UK also, and also some of your European Union laws also have inculcated the same technology. That is what we are moving to, that extent of technology. But once again, something when you have resource and you can do it, you're not doing it. Sniffer dog squads also, if that has been inculcated in UK, if we take an inspiration and do it, then of course poor animals can also be saved. WhatsApp groups and small boutique sellers, that is what this online marketplaces, right? When they came to know in Telangana, these Facebook pages, where did they get the license to start that business under Article 19 clause 1 clause G? That is also not there. They have no more identified where they even get the sources to start that business, customers, advertisements. And once again, what they do, will rub it, will erase it. Your WhatsApp end-to-end encryption, then your mm, over not over, but amplified uses of your digital world, right? In the snap of your fingers, you have your new products that you can purchase from online, right? That is also equal crime. You can report it because, see, your consumer protection rules of 2020, or let's say 2019, added the sections of e-commerce, right? So that also can actually be stopped for prohibited goods. To that extent also we can stop, yes, the small boutique sellers. And one of the most historical parts I just remembered, some of these Jyotisha, what we tend to call the astrologers, they said that the psychic, take this crystal, keep this in your house, you'll have good luck. But these are nothing but the animal skin that they have done, the corals that they get from the aquatic species. That is also you're doing, that is also become a business now. When you spoke about the small sellers, I understood. Yes, boutique also equally. Brand says not test on animals on label, but sellers in China sells in China. Is this claim credible? The Customs Act says that if you're doing what to say crime committed outside the country, and Customs Act provisions have that also. So that extent also you can uh, make hold them liable, absolutely liable. Yes. Any more? What are penalties and Indian law poaching? Okay, Wildlife Protection Act, you have your section 51, and then they amended and they made section 51A of your schedule 1 and schedule 2 that says about 7 years imprisonment. But I already said I think they deserve more, because what would you do if you are traded the same way? You know the pain of it, those voiceless animals, right? To understand the pain, you should have the same pain. But that is, we are not inflicting the same pain. But why don't you imprison them for 10 years at least, and give them, impose hefty penalty on them, right? That can also be there, a punishment. Then you have your Customs Act also. Mm, and if I strongly do believe regarding the Convention on Biological Diversity also, if that is also stringently applicable, then we can collectively discuss, and also discussions can happen regarding the change of laws, the amend of laws, right? So current legal framework is not sufficient. It's toothless tiger, can be, but their application is only, as I told, just a minute version. I feel so. It needs magnifying application also. Yes. Akash Ambani Vantara, exactly. Akash Ambani Vantara. That's what I said. There are people who have given the information. Now, how credible is the information, we don't know. Saying that they just what to say protect animals for the sake of it, but inside they're not giving safety protection. Moreover, the clip that became extremely viral, the person who is taking care of so much of animals uses animal for his marriage. Same thing, the Mumbai also filed a complaint under PETA for the tourists using animals for transportation. And what is this Vantara doing? Yes, where did the so much of sympathy or empathy go to animals when you end up doing exact opposite of it? That gives a wrong information to people. Yes. And regarding the interest of protecting wildlife and business, once again, it is, majority of them said that it is not robust. For the sake of it, they are doing it. How much truth is a credit? Because if that's a true, then they can file a complaint under Wildlife Protection Act. But once again, influential figures, will they be strictly penalized? That is also a concern. Yes.
Ma'am, there is one last question. What are the penalties under Indian law for poaching or illegal wildlife trade?
Ma'am, as I already told you, 51 and Section 51 of Wildlife Protection Act, Section 51A, which has been amended, Section 132 and Section 130 of Indian Customs Act for imported goods that is prohibited, which also include wildlife. Yes, and also when it comes to animals, also you have Director of Revenue Intelligence also that strictly focuses with anti-smugglings. So yes, the Biological Diversity Act also of 2002 is also very stringent. More it focuses on, it has been reported the n number of crimes that has been happening from our northeast. So yes.
So I think we have come to the end of the Q&A session.
Mm.
And moving on, as we conclude this insightful webinar, and with this, our seventh day of LG Havanur Endowment Special Online Lecture Program, I take this opportunity on behalf of our management, faculty, and all the participants here to extend our heartfelt and sincere gratitude to our esteemed resource person for today, Ms. Sadhana ma'am, for such enlightening and enthusiastic session. Thank you, ma'am. And also, I like to thank our management and the faculty members for having given us this platform and opportunity to enhance our knowledge on such varied topics and for having guided us and stood by us all throughout. And a special mention, of course, to our principal, Lalita ma'am, and Ramya ma'am, without whom this entire event wouldn't have been possible. And a big shout out to our backend team who have worked tirelessly to put up this event and make it a success. And of course, this event wouldn't have been what it is without the enthusiastic participation and such inquisitive questions from our participants. So, thank you to each one out there. And
Actually,
now,
also, I'm very happy with the students. What an enthusiasm and participation. I just hope that it was a meaningful session
of course,
because
ma'am,
the
especially
students'
the
minds,
Q&A.
intellectual session, much love and appreciation.
Thank you, ma'am. Especially the question and answer session went really well.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am. And now, may I please call upon our very own Rama ma'am to take over.
Thank you, Nivedita. Thank you, Sadhana ma'am, for a wonderful session. I mean, it was a very important topic, actually. It is a very important topic, and it is currently running so badly, if you say, like the wildlife is being harassed in many ways, right? So, thank you so much for your beautiful session. So, as we all know, we are concluding our webinar series today, and if I say what a wonderful sessions we had, 7 days. It was so informative from different resource persons with different topics we covered. It was a beautiful session we could go on. So, as a program coordinator, I take this opportunity to thank each and everyone. First, I would like to thank the Almighty to run the program very successfully and the management team for their continuous support. And now I would like to thank our own principal, Lalita ma'am. Okay, Lalita ma'am was continuously giving us the support for doing it. As soon as I told about the webinar, she agreed with it and handled, gave me the, full confidence she gave to me, like, handle it. Okay, so thank you, Lalita ma'am, for this. And I would like to thank the resource persons one by one. Bhagya, could you please? Bhagya, can you please share the PPT? And I think the resource
Yes.
persons from the first day, Anusri ma'am has joined. Ma'am, if you are there, can you please on your video if it is possible from your side?
I'm here. Hello.
Uh,
Good evening, everyone. I hope
so
you all had a wonderful session, very insightful session today and throughout the week.
yes, so we are concluding the session. The 7 days I was telling, like, it was enriching. you started with the session. So we are happy to see you once again over here.
Thank you. Thank you
So,
so much for giving me this
Anusri,
opportunity.
Anusri ma'am was taking with the topic uh, civil suit, stages of civil suit and appearance of parties and non-appearance. The session was so useful for the students, especially for the final years who were doing with the CPC. Thank you, ma'am, once again
Thank you.
from
Thank you so much.
on behalf of all the staff, students, and the participants from the other colleges as well.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
next day two, we had Shivapriya ma'am. Shivapriya ma'am, if you are there, it would be our honor to see. You can on your video, please. If you are
Good evening, ma'am. As I'm outside, I couldn't connect with video call.
okay. Oh, okay, fine, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ma'am was taking with the topic called natural justice, which is also a very relevant topic. Audio alterum partum, speaking decision, recent decisions. It was a wonderful session with you, ma'am. Thank you so much, Shivapriya
I
ma'am.
also thank the management and the student and principal ma'am who has given me an opportunity to speak over the topic, and it was very interesting also. Thanks a lot.
Okay, and the day three, we had the resource person from Shilpa ma'am. Okay, she was taking about the public international law. It was a wide topic, and how briefly she explained the things, the theories of the everything. She had explained it so beautifully that the students were had lot of questions, and she patiently listened to the questions and answered it so beautifully. I think Shilpa ma'am is not have joined, but still, thank you, ma'am. Next, on the fourth day, we had Gobala, sir. He has taken about the Land Laws Act. And this also comes for the final year students, the topic. And he was detailed to the act. He was telling each sections clearly with the Bear Act. And I forgot to mention, even Anusri ma'am has also taken with the Bear Act. How important the Bear Act is should be known to the students. So beautifully, it was put across by Gopal sir. Even he was not able to join today because of certain issues. Next, on the day five, we
Ma'am,
had the
ma'am, ma'am, 1 minute, ma'am. They are joining, ma'am. Please.
oh, they're joining.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
evening,
Gopala sir
madam.
have already joined. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Welcome,
you,
sir.
ma'am.
Uh, Thank you so much, sir, for your beautiful session. I was telling like the Land Law Act regarding the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe transfer. You had beautifully explained it with the Bear Act, explaining each and every sections. On behalf of the students, on behalf of the staff, I thank you so much, sir, once again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, madam. Principal Lalita, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Ladita ma'am, is the other persons joining?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They have joined, ma'am.
Okay. Bhagya, can
Thanks
you?
to entire your organizing team also,
Yes,
faculty
yes,
and
I'm
management,
admitting everyone, whoever is joining.
administrative staff also, and student team also. Excellently, they have organized. Thank you so much.
Bhagya, can you move to the next slide?
Ma'am, Yogesh sir is there, so you can go ahead with the
Yes,
Yogesh sir.
yes, I'll go to it. Interpretation of Constitution. So important part. How to interpret. It's a beautifully how he explained it with the case laws, with the. If Yogesh sir is there, if it is possible from his side to on the video, it will be great.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good
So
evening.
thank you so much, sir, from our side once
Yes,
again for your beautiful session on interpretation of Constitution. The students loved it, and they were crystal clear about the concept.
thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks for you people to providing this opportunity for me. Thank you, madam. Thank you, Principal Anita, madam. Thank you, management of Havanur Law College. Thank you, students. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.
Yes, sir. And Shilpa ma'am is also joined, I think, so, huh? Shilpa
Shilpa
ma'am?
ma'am is Shilpa.
Priya ma'am?
Yeah, Priya ma'am has joined. We spoke with her.
Okay, fine. Then Shilpa ma'am, she asked the link and just I sent her. I think she
Okay.
is joining now.
Okay. We'll just
I have
wait for
not
her.
received the request yet to join, so
Ma'am, did you join, ma'am? Shilpa
I
ma'am?
can't see Shilpa ma'am's name in the list of participants of the meet.
Okay. Okay, ma'am, just a minute.
Neither can I see a request from her.
Geeta ma'am is there?
Yeah, I'm there, Ramya. I'm there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
ma'am. You explained the post act so beautifully, and you patiently answered the Q&A sessions. How
Thank you.
important it is, as we all know that even though we have lot of acts, there are harassment happens, and how to
Yeah.
deal it. That you have explained it so beautifully. Thank you, Geeta ma'am, once again on behalf of all team.
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to the management, staff, principal, and all of you for supporting. And also, students has responded very well for whatever their questions are very apt and then relevant. I hope I answered well, and hope this kind of things will happen in future frequently and give opportunity for all others also. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am. I would
Thank you.
like the Bhagya, if you are able to pin all the resource persons, if the video is on, it will be great. And you can close the slide as of now.
We can take him a snap with all the resource person, I think,
Yes,
but yeah.
yes, we will do that. I was asking her to pin the videos of the resource persons.
Yeah.
If
So,
they
Gopal
on
sir,
the video,
Yogesh
it
sir,
will be
please,
good.
on the video, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yogesh sir has on the video
No,
is on.
I think there's a
Gopal sir,
limit
please, sir.
because whoever I could pin, I've pinned.
Okay,
Priya
okay,
ma'am.
fine. Okay, fine. I mean,
Yeah,
there is a limit. Technically, we have a limit of
I
certain
have pinned
people to be
everyone who I
pinned.
could. So yeah.
Okay, Shilpa ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Prof.
Good evening, ma'am. I would take this opportunity once again to thank you for
Thank you. Thank
explaining
you.
in detail to the students how well they understood the concept, how beautifully you answered the Q&A sessions.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much
Thank
once again
Thank
from
you.
thank you,
Thank you.
Ram.
Thank you, one and
whole
all.
team.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ram. Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yogesh
And
sir, thank you.
Thank you,
last,
Gurudev. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
last but not the least, without mentioning my backend team, Bhagya, can you please across the backend team picture?
1 minute, ma'am.
Yeah.
Hema.
See, all this happened with because of the resource persons we got. Thank you, everyone. And without giving a big clap to my backend team, I cannot conclude the session at all, because when the program was started, I don't know, I chose or they came forward. I will not regret them. I will not regret it, because each and every day before the session we meet, after the session we have a meeting, we had a mock trial, we do many things, we worked out. Thank you each and everyone, from right from the Bhagya, Rajesh, Sri Vishnupriya, Naina, the Archa, they're from the final years, Haima from the first year, Nivedita from the second year, and Vasant and Satyamurthy for continuous support. Even though they were not hosting it, they were there with us for the backend team. Thank you. And
Thank you so much,
last but
ma'am,
not
for
the
giving
least,
us the opportunity.
last but not the least, the participants. Without the participants, we cannot run the show.
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you, one and all. Good teamwork.
Thank you,
Good
everyone.
teamwork. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you once again,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. And one more thanks from my side for all the backend team, and not only the backend team, like and my staff also. I really thank you. That is especially for the Rimya ma'am and for her hard work, and for Rimya ma'am, supportive of the Ema ma'am, Mohan Babu sir and Mohan Kumar sir also. Just a word I have given for them to continue for the webinar, but they have taken hard work and they have completed the successfully. Congratulations, ma'am, to successfully completed of this class and for everyone. And I also thankful for all the resources person. Only
Thank
one
you.
word when I asked them, they have accepted willfully and they have given a free webinar for us and they have given so much of information for our students and it is very useful for them and it is also one of the enthusiasm you have filled with the students. So for that, I'm really thankful for each and every resources person and also thankful for the management because when I asked the permission for them, they said yes, you can go ahead and you can make the improvement like whatever the things you want, you can go ahead. So I will be thankful for the management also. And Sadhana ma'am, I'm really thankful for you because I doesn't know who are you. Like Mante sir has given your name and by one word you have accepted of that and after that only I came to know you are the Sadhana ma'am. So I'm really well thankful for you ma'am and your webinar is also very good and it is very informative. And my thing like personally my PhD is also relating for your topic only so it is very useful for me also ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for everyone.
Okay,
Thank you
madam. Thank you.
once
Thank you,
again,
ma'am.
To all
Good
the
day.
all
best.
my
Good
staff,
luck in future.
all the colleagues, and all non-teaching staff, especially Hema ma'am for her continuous support, for joining all the sessions without any failure, without me calling. She joined on time. Thank you, Hema ma'am, so much. And thank you each and
It
everyone who
was
have
my
joined
pleasure
us.
and duty, ma'am.
So we are concluding our 7-day
Okay.
series. We hope we will be back with more interesting
Good.
webinars or seminars.
Okay.
Thank you, each and everyone,
Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
for
We
madam.
are
joining.
Thank
yeah.
you, Lalita
We are
madam.
concluding
Thank
now.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
do you wish to speak something?
No. That's it, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Super.
you so much,
Thank you.
each and
Good team.
everyone.
Good luck. Okay, madam. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.